Hi, I'm C, your virtual assistant today.
What if I tell you that Ksim Connect has become a reality? It is the cloud-based ecosystem for maritime education and training, where Kongsberg provides simulation and services to all members. As an instructor, my main goal is to educate and train seafarers to acquire skills promoting safety, sustainability, and efficiency at sea. At Ksim Connect, I can efficiently manage my simulators, my exercises, and my students. In the exercise archive, I can store my library of exercises, and if I want, collaborate and share them with my colleagues or others in the global community. Ksim Connect enables me to give students access to cloud simulation, so they can train anytime and anywhere while learning at their own pace. In addition, I can explore the library of models and exercise areas, download or subscribe those that fit the learning objectives. And I can even order spare parts or a service visit if needed. Kongsberg has started to create the future of maritime education and training by creating the community where instructors can find news, explore and download available simulator models, distribute or share exercises that fit the curriculum. Imagine using Ksim Connect to integrate our simulators in the same virtual exercise environment, enabling students to train and interact together. It doesn't matter whether you're in Singapore, Australia, or in the United States. As long as you're online, you are part of the knowledge-sharing community. Kongsberg is shaping the future of maritime education and training by creating the community. Let's continue building this community together for the benefit of ourselves and the entire maritime training industry. Join Ksim Connect today.
Heavenly Father, we acknowledge that everything we have comes from you, including our work in this very company as well. We thank you for your sustaining grace. We are grateful indeed for opening our eyes to see the need of our country for quality maritime education and training. Lord, we ask your sovereign wisdom to be upon each worker in this company, so that we may provide the best learning innovations for the next generation. Allow us to be good stewards of our resources to fulfill our mission and vision, which is a company that will be a blessing to the maritime industry and soon across industries. We trust in the fullness of your sovereignty and grace over us as we aspire for excellence now and in the coming days. Remind us to treasure every opportunity and challenges to learn and trust you. Father, clothe us with unity and harmony in the midst of severity. We ask that you continue to bless this company and its employees. Cover us in safety and good health. For everyone and family represented here, God, we know that this is not a storm-free life that we are living, but allow us to rely on you, Lord, for strength to endure every day and to do the things that pleases you. We ask these in your name. Amen.
And we're live. Good evening and welcome to Women in Maritime. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's webinar is intended to cap off Women's Month of 2021 for Seaversity aims to shed light in women in the workforce, specifically those women in the male-dominated maritime industry, for it is of essence to hear the viewpoint of seafarers. Likewise, in 2019, a study by economists exhibited that only 2% of the world's maritime workforce are female. Overall, 1% are in charge of hospitality-related tasks, while the other 1% accounts for women sailors. Likewise, our goal this month is to empower women by tackling the stories behind the lives of our female industry practitioners. I hope that you are all ready for tonight's event. And don't forget to use the hashtag Seaversity so that we may easily track your questions throughout the program. And stay tuned until the end for our question and answer portion and have your questions answered by our guest speaker, Prof. Angelica, Bylon, and Dr. Teresita Pareja. And without further ado, let us begin. For our first speaker for tonight's event, she will tackle her experiences in her career as well as her personal insights in working with a maritime training institution. For her years of devotion to work as a professor as well as a director for external relations at the Maritime Academy of Asia and the Pacific, or MAAP, would give us a deeper understanding of the role of the academe in addressing gender diversity in the maritime industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Angelica Bylon of the Maritime Academy of Asia and the Pacific.
Want to greet everyone. Hello, everyone. Hi, Prime, Trina, and Chris. And I'd like to greet all women, a blessed International Women's Month. Thank you for this invitation to be part of the Women's Celebration. Working in the maritime industry was a wonderful opportunity provided me. As a chemist, I taught chemistry for almost 10 years in three prestigious universities: Far Eastern University, UP Manila, and PWU. And in 1998, when I passed by the premier Philippine Merchant Marine Academy, which was formerly located in Fort Bonifacio, Makati, it was only out of curiosity. I just wanted to go inside the PMMA campus because my father, Captain Rogelio Morales, was formerly president of PMMA, and so are my uncles and relatives like Captain Santi and Benito Granada, who are all master mariners and graduated from PMMA. So I had my teaching demo in chemistry, and luckily my resume reached the office of the president, who was in search for a director that time. I was very grateful to former PMMA president Commodore Bugayong, who designated me as his director for research and development. I just graduated my PhD, and that was my first administrative position at the age of 30. Trusted by the as a maritime director, I need to be marinated, so to speak. So I availed the PMMA scholarship and graduated Master in Shipping Business Management degree. I gained many friends and classmates in maritime, and Commodore Bugayong also sent me to represent him in many important maritime stakeholders meeting, and the people I met there are the very same people who recommended me to the late AMUSUP President, Captain Gregorio Oca, to the newly established MAAP. Thank you to Maritime's owner, Captain Celso de Guzman, and to former ATI Senior Vice President VP Rick Cosme, who personally introduced, accompanied, and endorsed me to Captain Oca. Captain Oca appointed me the Pioneer Maritime Executive Dean, Dean for General Education, and Director for Research and Extension Services, all rolled into one, with two academic deans under me, the Dean of Maritime Transportation and Marine Engineering, in May 1999. So I was happy also to learn from Captain Oca that Admiral Santos will be our president. So I remember to regularly reporting to Admiral Santos at the Philippine Navy headquarters, as he was then the former flag officer in command of the Philippine Navy and the former member of the PMMA Board of Trustees. And so fortunately for us at MAAP, he retired in the Navy on October 16, 1999. And now we have the privilege and joy working with him. I'm currently the MAAP External Relations Director, still under the office of MAAP Pioneer President Admiral Santos. And in my experience with chemistry as my expertise, I can say that regardless of gender, age, field, or discipline, anybody can still be successful and find happiness in whatever industry you are in, as long as you put your heart and mindset into it. So as an empowered staff in maritime, I'm really enjoying the challenges at work, and most especially the people. I'm just blessed to have worked with PMMA former President Commodore Bugayong, and now with MAP Admiral Santos. I'm also surrounded with supportive colleagues and friends in the maritime, both in local and international. Challenges will always be there, no? Be it in maritime or in whatever environment. Even the international maritime arena, they are very much aware that indeed there is an existing challenge for women, as evidence of the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, specifically number 5 on gender equality and women empowerment and inclusivity. That means that for SDG 5 to be realized, then all the 17 SDGs should be involved or include women. Indeed, SDG 5 is a well-taught SDG because it encourages everyone to contribute to sustainability through gender equality in all areas. With the SDG 5, it provides a clear signal to all stakeholders that women should be accepted in any profession, field, or discipline for diversity, be it in a male-dominated profession like the seafaring, and with the engagement of women in a career at sea, very exciting. I think the root cause challenge is due to the stereotypes, no? Sector stereotypes, and also because of lack of specific organizational gender policies. Yes, there is an existing youth challenge for the women career at sea. Nevertheless, as long as the woman is interested, determined, and committed, she can be trained, developed, and be at par, and can even exceed the male counterpart if only women are encouraged and engaged in her career at sea. MAP supports to gender diversity in professional maritime education and training is very much evident on the active involvement of women in various programs. No? All women are provided equal opportunities and access to high school career orientation programs, recruitment and selection program, scholarship and sponsorship program, student welfare development and services program, and our employment program. We regularly update our tracer study as it provides data and information about the whereabouts and status of MAP graduates, and that include females, serving as a reference no, in contacting them so that we may include them in various MAP initiatives. All students are treated equally. They are informed about the various maritime career pathways, in addition to working on board vessel. MAP also has a Women Cadets Club, and we support programs and projects of our external partners on women. And to share with you, recent programs for women in this pandemic include online seminar workshops. We also have online pre-departure briefing for women with our alumni, and webinars for New Normal for Women. There is also a strong network for midship women and alumni mentoring in collaboration with WIMAFIL and AMOSUP Women. We also develop a very good relationship and strong linkages with foreign principals and shipping companies, and we get feedbacks from them. Our President Admiral Santos is encouraging shipping companies to sponsor more MAP women cadets and convince ship owners, including cruise lines, to hire more MAP women alumni and officers on their ships. But still, in the end, shipping sponsors are still the ones who finally decides. MAP women can perform our cadets, no? They can perform the 55 key performance indicators required by shipping companies. We constantly encourage our women graduates to continue on with their careers and for them to get promoted, not to become captains or chief engineers. MAP practices consistency, transparency, inclusivity, and diversity, and uses gender-neutral, innovative approaches to eliminate bias in a campus that is safe and secured from gender discrimination for sustainability in maritime education and training. I think the major barriers in the employment of women seafarers are two things: the internal and the external. The women internal barriers are personal barriers like lack of confidence and being passive, which the women can control or address by changing their mindset and attitude. The women external barriers, on the other hand, are caused by the outside or external factors like the society biases, work culture, and organization leadership or policy itself, which women has no control, as the external need to do changes in their notion or policies. Indeed, there is still big issues at employment on merchant ships due to hesitance of owners for female employment aboard their vessels. Although in the last years, more crewing companies are recruiting female graduates, but I believe this is still not enough. Now, to address the external barriers, there is a need to change the ship owner's mentality by sharing best practices of seafarer women employment on the market, and also to require a national or international hiring policy women seafarers and women cadets or trainees, and the government can make this requirement a precondition for the renewal of registration of both foreign and domestic shipping. There must be board domestic and international vessels. I also would like to share that we in MAAP, we were part of the IAMU funded Gender Equality and Cultural Awareness in Maritime Education and Training, or GECAMIT project. The GECAMIT study proposed the term gendering shipping, which represents a supportive response from the shipping companies in hiring and empowering female seafarers as role models for the next and actual generation of women seafarers. In that project, we have identified 55 key performance indicators that the shipping companies wanted for them to see, no, for them to recruit, retain, and promote seafarers. This means that any women graduate who would be able to deliver or show that they have the ability to perform the required competencies, then decision to employ or promote them on board would be easier. The result of the GECAMIT study also shows that it has more to do with the capability of women and got nothing to do with gender and nationality. So these are the things that I could think of at the moment, which if done can benefit seafarers. Globally, the world recognizes the importance of women, with March as the International Women's Month with the motto, We Make Change. Your engagement in the maritime industry would be very much dependent on you, on how you feel, if you are comfortable with the dominance of male on board, also on how you present and act accordingly on board for you to be accepted and treated by the company and the people around you. My advice is be confident yet humble. Step out of your comfort zone. Be willing to sacrifice some things to build the career you want. Exert your best effort. Try not to be second best. In case of failure, embrace them, learn from them, and do better next time. Be a supportive team player. Be proactive and creative. Initiate or recommend activities. If there are no opportunities, why not create your own opportunities beneficial for you and the company? Submit your intention and outputs to be considered. Be brave, assert your rights, and act professional at all times. Join the networks of seafarer women and sisterhoods. Be a mentor and share your experience with your female peers. Stand out and be counted. Never mind the numbers, no, the 1 to 3% women believes in quality, not quantity. We may be few in the maritime industry, but we are here not for competition, but for complementation. Completing man, or rather complementing man in a man's world for a harmonious maritime industry is our role as a woman in the maritime industry because we make change. In this COVID-19 pandemic, stay safe yet be productive. Take care of your health, not only physically, but also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Trust in God as for Him, through Him, and with Him, everything is possible. Let us help one another as we heal as one. God bless us all. Thank you and good day.
All right. That was a wonderful presentation from statements from Prof. Bylon. Likewise, thank you, Dr. Bylon, for it had been an honor to meet you once again since the last time I have been at MAAP, which is essentially during our graduation, year 2015, and our project visit 2 years ago, just before the pandemic. But still, Seaversity is still grateful for you have honored our request, of course, for our fellow maritime professionals. And of course, for our viewers, I hope that you had fun and learned a lot of things from our first speaker. And I know that you are now excited to hear our second speaker, Dr. Trasita Pareja. But before we head on over to our next speaker, let's hear first a perspective from a fellow seafarer. Of course, this her name is Miss Casey Abigail Chin. She will talk about on what it is like being a merchant mariner. And today she will tackle how she has able to manage all the challenges and thrive in the maritime industry. And of course, it also includes her experiences in working on board and how it has become a life challenging experience to her. Take it away, Jen.
I would always take pride in saying that my father has made a profound impact on my life. My father is a retired ship officer, and after retiring, he proceeded to teach in a university where we lived. He was one of my professors in the university. Even though he never really told me much about his life at sea, but I have always wondered what is there beyond the horizon. The tales of the sea has always inspired me. I've always known I was off for something great, so I told my father I wanted to become a seafarer like him. I wanted to break away from the traditional female roles in the society. I also want to break free from the stereotype that women are not capable of doing a man's job, that we should just stay at home and cook meals and wash dishes or clean the house. Although there is so much pride in being a stay-at-home mom, but I wanted to try something different. And I know I still have a long way to go, but I will not stop and work hard for my future and to inspire others. There has been countless of challenges that I experienced ever since I started in this industry. I experienced being bullied and discriminated by people who has more sea experience than me. And the discrimination was mostly because of my gender, a female. But that did not stop me from pursuing my goals. Because gone are the days that girls are seen as a weaker gender. I remembered when I was still a deck cadet, life on board gave me shock. At first, I was reluctant and I felt shy being surrounded by guys. As a seafarer, I know the term pakisama on board is very important. But being a lady, the term pakisama should just be up until there and nothing more. There are guys who want nothing but to take advantage of you. And I've experienced it myself. But by the way I see it, you can either just let them take advantage of you or just stand up to them. To end the stigma that girls are just a source of trouble on board, it should always begin in you. I love that I get to see the sunset and sunrise from different parts of the globe. It is always magical to appreciate the gift of God. You will only feel an immense satisfaction once you know what you are doing. And I felt that within. A lady seafarer, I love that I am able to thrive in this male-dominated industry. Being challenged day to day by the demands of shipping from calling from one port to another, as a seafarer, I am proud that I am a part of industry that never ceases to stop moving. An industry that continues to endure and thrive in midst of pandemic. So as a third officer, I give all my best to do my job as best as I can. Part of my job is to ensure that all life-saving appliances and firefighting equipment are readily available during emergencies, to navigate the ship safely and do cargo operations with zero pollution during my watches. Doing all this, I was able to discover my strengths and weaknesses as I grow in this industry. Honestly, during a hard day's work, knowing that I have completed my job satisfactorily and safely gives me that feeling of self-worth. And that feeling of self-worth is always my favorite part of this job. I would say that blended learning works best to almost all of the seafarers who often complain about the tiresome and endless trainings we get during vacation. In fact, seafarers who live in far provinces like Mindanao and Visayas are forced to travel just to attend their training classes because most of the maritime courses are only offered in Manila. The time that should be spent together with our families is spent doing our courses. Online training has made things convenient for me since I don't have to go to Manila to take it since the threat of pandemic is very alarming. Also, I am glad that I am able to spend time with my family and make up for the time when I was away to work on board a ship. Furthermore, I know a lot of seafarers and maritime instructors still find it hard to adapt with the new normal. There are difficulties in grasping knowledge in online learning, but with the availability of resources related to maritime topic found online, the knowledge we can acquire from online trainings, online learning is just the same from the knowledge we can get from the classroom-based teaching. I believe that whether blended or not, both student and the instructors plays a huge part into making learning a success. Aspiring maritime students should, as much as possible, strive for academic excellence. Their time in college should be spent on learning as much as they can with the aim of getting into sponsorships or scholarship programs offered by maritime companies. And this will greatly help them into getting started in their chosen career. However, if you do not get into any of these programs, you still have a good card to play given that you did well in college. A well-rounded academic foundation along with your written proof, which is your transcript of record, and surely this will aid any cadet aspiring to apply for cadetship programs offered by companies who have completed their 3-year academic requirement. Being a seafarer is not easy, and if there is one thing I would like to impart to them, is that to never give up on their dreams. What you think is impossible today will become possible once you work hard for it. Don't believe in backer system. With or without backer, if it's your destiny to sail the high seas, God will give it to you. Honestly, there are others who see girls as a threat or a trouble in this industry. But never let your gender become your weakness. Let your strengths be recognized. Let your credentials and experiences in the maritime industry speaks for itself. And to all aspiring lady seafarers, if being one is what you really want, then go for it. It will be hard at first. There will be others who will want to pull you down, but never give them the chance. You owe yourself the chance to succeed. Do not give others the chance to pull you down. Whatever dreams you have, you will achieve it in God's perfect time. Also, never be afraid of failures. Instead, be optimistic. Always remember that some risks may not pay off, but an optimistic risk taker will always look at failure as an opportunity to learn and grow to become a better person.
All right. Thank you, Miss Casey. We hope that you are doing well and good luck on your future endeavors. Likewise, for our second speaker for tonight's event, she will discuss her perspective and involvement as an educator in the maritime industry. Furthermore, she will also be touching on how to overcome an existing problem, which is the barrier that holds most of the women back in terms of creating a career. And without further ado, please welcome Dr. Teresita Pareja, Head of General Education of MOL Magsaysay Maritime Academy. Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Hi.
Wow, ang ganda ni
Hello,
ma'am.
sir.
Napaka-fresh ni ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
Fine.
Nasa
Very
Cavite po
fine,
kayo,
but
ma'am.
yes, in Cavite.
So, kumusta naman po
Tansa,
yung status natin
Cavite.
sa Cavite? Kumusta yung status natin sa Cavite, ma'am?
So far, may mga cases ng COVID.
Anyone in the family so far, wala naman po, tama?
So far, no one is
Oh,
infected
thank
by the
goodness.
virus. And thank God for that.
At least kayo, ma'am, I assume and I'm pretty sure that you are quite healthy. Napaka-blooming ma'am ngayon. Wow. Anyways, ma'am,
Thank you for that.
may tanong po kasi actually we pulled a lot of questions from several individuals, a lot of students and some were educators din na tulad din po natin. So, yung first question nila is one of the cliche question is what made you decide to join the maritime industry as an educator po?
Okay, sir. As an educator, actually, sir, Mall Magsaysay Maritime Academy is my second home because in the field of education, because I retired from De La Salle University, Dasmariñas in 2017. And then I was invited by Dr. Puno to become their consultant in the general education. After a while, I applied for directorship in the same academy, but then because we are supposed to be, we were, I mean, MMMA is due for a visit of Ched and Marina in order to have what we call this uh, to have our permit no for our first operation. So I was transferred to general education, which is really my specialization. And from then, um, I did a lot of work no as a general education head, from the core syllabus down to the writing of modules there, because there is a need to help one another, especially the technical instructors.
Alright, maraming salamat, ma'am. I think nasabi niyo po yung buong background niyo when it comes to education po, ma'am. Ito si Rian. Also, anyways, going to the second question po. Do you think that there is an existing challenge as to the engagement of women regarding careers? Or what do you think is the root cause of these challenges po?
Actually, if we talk about challenges in the field of seafaring, it's really obvious that women is not really empowered, or male is dominate. I mean, male is dominated no by what we call I mean the female is dominated by male. And because the idea is this, if it's fairing, it's only for men, especially the traditional thinking of the old people no when it comes to family, bringing up their family. Women should only be what, staying at home. That was before. And then later on, we accept already the idea that women can work. But at present, still, when it comes to seafaring, it's really difficult for women to rear up their family while they are on board. So maybe this could be one challenge that seafaring women might be facing at the moment. Another challenge could be um, uh, how the, let's say, the owners of the ship perceive women, because in terms of physical, I mean, we know the work in seafaring, no? It's really the attributes of man that is being strong, can carry heavy things. I think which women cannot, in some, with some limitations, right? So those are some challenges. The perception, how we perceive women, is very important in
Yes, so
terms of employment.
actually, this was also stated by Prof. Bylon earlier about
Yes. Mm-mm.
changing the mentality of
Yeah.
how they perceive seafarers or women sa industry po natin.
Actually, listening to Dr. Bailon, she mentioned everything. All I agree with her. It's not only listening to her, but those that I've read from different research articles. Uh, really was confirmed by Dr. Bailon a while ago.
Okay, actually, I agree to that. Since I have also worked with other female seafarers, then and sa Seaversity rin po, we have female researcher that is former seafarers or ng mga nagbabakasyon na seafarer din, na babae din po. And yun din po sinasabi nila sa amin actually. And this brings the question, sa tingin niyo po ma'am talaga, if we're going to summarize this one on a point na may intindihan ng general public, na what is needed para mabago to?
We need to change our perspective about women as a seafarer, because what men can do can also be done by women. I remember, actually, we have a saying that men would only want to say something, would only want to say yes, or would only want to say that, okay, we'll do that, okay. But when it comes to women, women do the action.
Yes,
Eh,
I agree to that one, ma'am. Especially, ma'am, it's not really necessarily that male seafarers are stronger than female seafarers. The idea when we say the word strong is that when we say the word strong, there are different aspects when you say the word strong. Physically, yes, it is indeed that males are physically stronger than female seafarers, but on some aspects, female seafarers is actually stronger than men. Tama po ba yun, ma'am?
Female seafarers are stronger than men.
On some
That could
aspects po,
be
not
that
really
could be
physically.
a that could be a broad term, because stronger could be a word, that a relative word, no?
Yes,
It could mean a lot, no? But then, of course, in terms of physical, men is stronger than women. But in terms of making decision, this is only my observation, no?
mhm.
In terms of making decision, women can easily decides faster than men. That is only my perception.
Yes, ma'am. I understand actually because I have my partner and I also had that discussion. And when it comes to decision making, she does it real fast to the point that I have to ask several questions before I understand that one. So I quite agree to that. So moving on to the third question. Let's speak about MMA or MOL Magsaysay Maritime Academy. What are the pedagogical strategies that your institution has taken in order to support gender diversity in education, especially in professional maritime education and training po?
Now, actually, if we talk about pedagogical strategies, I'm thinking about the teaching strategies. So
Mm-hmm.
it's in the classroom. So that's my idea. So when we say what are these pedagogical strategies being done by MMMA, first and foremost, we have our leadership program. Now, this leadership program is for all students of MMMA. And this is what MMMA would like to be identified in terms of the leadership program. Because if a seafarer would not have a leadership when he is already on board, it might be very difficult for him to man his people. For example, the captain. Now, another pedagogical strategy that we implement in the university, the academy, is the use of gender neutral language. Meaning to say, all students, we call them cadet. We do not call them Mr. or Miss. So that is how I see pedagogical strategy. And then we also ensure that both male and female would receive the same discipline. They are given the same discipline.
Wow,
Okay.
that's amazing, ma'am. Anything else, ma'am?
The last one could be the group activity or group competition. Every time we have group activity or group competition, it's not individual. It's not by section, but it is by company. From first year up to third year level, they join the competition by company like Alpha, Bravo. So
Okay.
there is equality among themselves.
Well,
So
ma'am,
that's how we do that in MMFP.
as a first-hand experience, I've been a cadet as well in MAAP, and around 500 students, we have 13 females only. And we follow the same procedures that's just like what you have said. And it was really amazing that females can really, the women in the cadets, the female cadets, can really stand up to the male cadets, regardless of what
Yes,
aspect is it. And
yes,
it's really awesome that I hope everyone can see that there's much to females rather than the cliche ideology na babae lang yan.
yeah, exactly. Remember, we have the feminism theory or the feminist theory, and we are now debunking the idea that men is stronger than women. We are debunking that idea already. Okay.
And let's move on to the fourth and last question for the meantime. After graduation po ba, what do you think are the major barriers to the employment of women seafarers, and what can be done to address this?
Uh, Again, the major barrier could be the perception that
Perspective.
women can do less than men.
Mhm.
Based on what I hear from my colleagues in the academy, um, based from what I'm reading a lot about maritime. So it's always the perception and it's always the decision of the ship owners as to who will be hired after graduation. That's the major barrier.
Actually, ma'am, during I was a former seafarer as well for the past few years before I've stayed here at Seaversity. I am part of the Japanese fleet, NYK actually, and I haven't I'm not sure if there is any employment available for female seafarers on the Japanese fleet, but I have only seen several seafarers that is Japanese, female Japanese seafarers, but I did not see or noticed any female Filipino seafarers. Ano po sa tingin niyo doon, ma'am?
It's because of the again, no, I would like to say that it's because of the mentality of of mentality of the family of the female who would like to become a seafarer. Sasabihin nila, oh, hindi maganda yan, iiwanan mong pamilya mo, ganon. And then another one, or you might be alone in the, I mean, you might be the only female in the ship, something might happen to you. Like harassment, that could be one reason, could be a barrier. So
Essentially po, ma'am, with all those said, ano po kaya sa tingin niyo yung katangian ng babae na dapat na sumugod sa profession na to, ma'am?
um
Ano yung pinaka main na katangian po ni isang babae po na dapat?
the woman has to be resilient.
Okay, that's one.
Resilient, no, resilient in the sense that uh she can she can really adjust to everything, adaptable. That's what I'm one another trait of a successful seafarer: resilient, adaptable, and strong enough to face challenges. Because when you're on board. The reason why I cannot really s- because you cannot say something if you have not experienced it. I've never been a seafarer, but based on what I hear from my friends who are seafarers, the most difficult part that they encounter is when they go already on homesick. They
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
understand, ma'am.
they think about their family, or sometimes when they are when they get married, when they get pregnant, these things make them are really barrier for them to become successful seafarers.
Okay, maraming salamat po sa pagsagot sa mga tanong. Pero ma'am, may isa pa ako, I still have one more question left.
Mm-hmm.
This question just popped up in my head. Let's go back naman po sa inyo. If ever there are some people or professionals that would like to join the maritime industry, ano po yung gusto niyo
Mm-hmm.
sabihin sa kanila?
If you want to become if you want to become a seafarer,
Ma'am,
or if
not
you want
necessarily seafarer
not
po,
to na, if you want to join the maritime industry, um, w- you must be an explorer,
Okay.
because because maritime industry is so complicated. Why complicated? Because you have to conform to the standards, to the international standards. So you do not just you must have an open mind. You must be a good leader. In short, because when we talk about international standards, this is something that you have to meaning to say, you have to be adjusted in everything. Imagine the word international standards. So
That's worldwide.
yeah, coping with one standard is already difficult. What more if you go to the level of the international standard?
And ma'am, there's no existing local maritime standard. Lahat po talaga sila
Yes,
international
oo,
maritime
it's
standard.
always international, because who owns the vessels? Most of them are what? Foreigners,
Yes,
not
ma'am.
not Filipinos, right?
Yes
Mm.
po. Actually, yun po yung karaniwang sinasabi ng sinasabi ng karaniwan pag when I go sa certain parts ng Philippines sa mga coastline. Sinasabi na ito yung pinapasunod ng domestic standard. Sabi ko, and I try to explain to them na there's no such thing as a domestic standard because we are only
Yes,
following one, which is the international standard,
yes,
which
the
basically
international,
four pillars.
because
Tama po, ma'am.
the international standards will give you the permit to operate.
Yes,
It's not within just not just an ordinary company to be given to you. That the permit is not granted by an ordinary company. It's you
actually,
have
ma'am,
to conform to the standards, or else it's either you make it or break it. Baka lumubog yung barko mo. Hmm.
yes, ma'am.
'Di ba?
Anyways, ma'am, last question po. Since na you have worked around 5 years na po sa MMA po, tama po, ma'am?
Going to 5 years
Going to five
only.
years. Okay. Ito yung po yung pinaka-last question ko po for the meantime. So far po sa 5 years na yon, what was the best and the hardest challenge na na-receive nyo so far?
The best is I learned a lot from the technical instructors, from the dean, from the program heads. I learned a lot about different courses. I already have the knowledge of what is simulator. Uh, what else? Aside from that, yung mga technical courses nila na napakahirap palang intindihin, I get to know them, of course, on theory only, no? And the hardest is to comply with regard to the requirements of Ched Marina, because you have really to follow the standards.
Indeed,
Yun
ma'am.
yun. Yes, we have to follow the standards, or else you won't get any permit, any recognition.
So far, ma'am, fulfilling naman po yung fulfilling naman po para sa inyo na maging part ng maritime industry.
Of course, I don't have any regret. Talaga
Wow.
sabi ko nga,
Amazing.
yes, and I consider this another mission in my life. Iba
The
pala
same.
talaga sa I always tell my colleagues, the maritime program is very different from any other courses or programs that we have in other universities. It's
I
really
agree.
complicated. Complicated talaga.
Pero masaya, ma'am.
Yeah, masaya.
Sobrang saya po.
Challenging.
It's very challenging.
Happy. Mm-mm.
Anyways, ma'am, maraming salamat. I think that will be all for now, and then we'll get back at you kasi so far tatad na po yung comment section sa Facebook natin, and marami po yung gusto magtanong, pero we still have some guests na kailangan po natin entertain, and they still, and para makuha rin po natin yung perspective nila. Actually, these are students or cadets from maritime institutions as well. So maraming salamat po, Dr. Teresita Pareha.
Okay,
We hope that you are
welcome.
doing well sa Cavite, and good luck to you and your future endeavors along with MOL Magsaysay Maritime Academy.
Okay,
Maraming
thank you
salamat po.
also. Thank you also.
All right. And for our viewers, I hope that you had fun and learned a lot of things from our second speaker. And don't worry, because tonight's event is a bit of a twist. We also have some student speakers that will share their perspective on how it's like to be a part of the maritime industry as a cadet. But before we head over to our student guest, let's hear the perspective of Karen Leslie Esguerra on what it is like being a proud mother of 4 and onboard electro-technical officer. Take it away, Jen.
Hi, my name is Karen Leslie Esguerra, a mom of 4 and working on board a container vessel as an ETO. My father was also a seafarer. That's why I have an idea about seafaring. And during the time that I graduated college, he was also nearly his retirement age. And having 3 more siblings who are still studying, I was thinking about how can I help him. But I was also torn with wanting to use what I've studied, practice what I've studied, and use my license. So when I learned from my college friends that this huge shipping company is accepting applicants to train and join their vessel as electrician, I took my chance, and rest is history. So it's like hitting 2 birds in 1 stone. Well, I've been in this industry for like more than 10 years, so I could say that it's easier nowadays to enter this industry compared to our times. Because nowadays, more and more companies are open to diversity and giving an equal opportunity to both men and women. But the only challenge that I can think of, especially with my rank, is the requirements to become an ETO or an ETR is more challenging than we have before. The major barrier to employment of women seafarers is the lack of awareness and knowledge about women at sea. Most of the people think that women can only join cruise ship or passenger vessels, and only few knows that women can also work on other vessel types. So I guess social media would play an important role to show other people that women can also work on other vessel types and can also work as an deck officer, an electrician, or an engineer.
And I think we had just had a technical problems, pero I think it is now safe to proceed. Likewise, thank you, Miss Karen. We hope that you are doing well on board. As nakita nyo nga po sa background niya, yung background niya po kanina na may kama and may lamp po sa gilid. That is technically yung typical setup po ng nasa barko po. So, good luck to your future endeavors, ma'am, and I hope your 4 kids is safe as well. And without further ado, let us welcome Miss Cristal Vizcara from PMA, Isa Bernales from University of St. Anthony, and Mas Maria Gif Ramos from Seaversity. Hello there, ladies, Miss Vizcara and Miss Gif Ramos.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Magandang
evening,
gabi.
sir.
Um, Thank you for joining us today for our webinar. So essentially, let me ask you first one question. So far, what have you learned from our previous speaker? I'll go first to Miss Crystal Vizcara.
For Mom Teresita, she says that we should be strong, resilient as a women in the industry, as a women in the maritime, and be strong, not fearful, and explore, be an explorer.
All right. How about you, Miss Gif Ramos?
For me, yung natutunan ko pa is women should professionally act and should be responsible in their work on board.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? All right, maraming salamat. That's great to
Yes, sir.
hear. That's right. We have several questions actually that was collated sa mga comments and initial na poll natin. And we'd love to hear the perspective ng maritime students from Miss Crystal Vizcara and a maritime professional, Miss Gift Ramos. So, the first question is, what made you decide to take up the course? Miss Vizcara? Teka lang, wait first. Crystal, Miss Vizcara, anong class ka ba?
I'm a first class midshipman, sir.
Okay, first class. First class Vizcara, the same question. What made you decide? Hello? Okay, I think naihang si Miss Vizcara. Let's go to Miss Gift Ramos. Officer Gift Ramos, what made you decide to take up the course?
As gaya nga po ng sabi nila, so maritime, pag nag-take ka ng maritime, you can travel the world for free. So kaya po ako nag-join sa maritime kasi sabi nga nila, while you're working, you are exploring the world. So for me, it's a chance to see the world free. That's all.
All right. How about you, first class Vizcara?
Likewise, sir, I always wanted to travel. And when I entered up the academy, when I got to go to the entrance exam, I saw a poster in there which says you can travel the world for free. So which I came to realize during my second year,
Mm-hmm.
third year on board second class, which is different shipping companies provide you on board trainings, which also provided you to um, have a shore whenever you can inside the onboard ship training also.
All right. So basically what you're saying, first class Vizcara, is since by the way pala sa mga viewers natin, sa mga di nakaka-relate, so typically in a college setup or an HEIs, and SUCs, yung setup po ng college natin is first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. Kanila first class Vizcara, yung setup po nila, for first year, we're called fourth class. Second year college is called third class. Third year college is called second class, and the graduating ones, the fourth year college, is called first class. Tama ba, Miss Vizcara?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's why I'm calling her first class Vizcara para mas professional tayo. Essentially, since si Miss Gift as well is actually graduate na siya and she's already working. So and she's been on board and she has other experiences sa maritime industry pero sa education sector naman. Pero with all those experience, what are some of the challenges that you have experienced so far, Miss Gift Ramos?
Hello. Okay. So, one of the reason is maybe yung discrimination, especially if you're not, pag babae ka. Minsan kasi if nag-apply kami, always lang sinasabi sa amin, sige, tatawagan lang namin kayo. Um, um, hin- but still, we are working talaga na makapag-onboard even though hindi kami graduate from prestigious schools. We're trying our best to go from different shipping companies kasi um, yung pinaka-dahilan talaga is, yun na nga, yung discrimination na babae ka, and also discrimination dahil um, yung school mo din is not accredited from um, sa maritime industry.
All right. Pero question lang, Miss Officer Gif Ramos, how did you cope up with it? Since nasaya mo yung challenges, how did you cope up with it?
Siguro po ano, maybe lakas lang ng loob
All
and
right.
prayers. That's all.
Maraming salamat. I think with us now is Miss Aiza Bernales. Andiyan ka ba, Miss Aiza? Hello? I think
Hello,
you're
sir.
muted. Magandang hapon sa'yo. Tama ba? Diyos mabalas. Diyos marahay na hapon?
Diyos maray na gabi po.
Banggi. Okay, maraming salamat. All right. So same question kay Miss Gift Ramos. Question ko lang, what year level are you na, Miss Aiza?
Second year po.
So you are basically third class? So all right. Same question kay Miss Gift Ramos kanina. So far, as a student sa Maritime, ano yung mga naging challenges mo na na-experience? Hello, Miss Aiza? Alright, it seems like we have problems sa connection ni Miss Aiza. Let's proceed first kay First Class Vizcara. Same questions, ba?
Of course, sir, it's a male-dominated workplace, but
Okay.
still, I still have to act accordingly and socialize, which is dito naman po sa academies, we're also male-dominated. In my class, I'm the only cadet to my section. So, hindi po siya bago na mag-isa mo lang po sa isang community, sa isang society na konti lang kayo compared dun sa number po ng mga lalaki sa workplace. And pinapakita ko po talaga dun on board na kung ano man po yung kaya nilang gawin, is kaya ko rin.
Alright, that's
Not as a babae, but also as a cadet, sir.
alright. Question lang is, since you're saying that you're a first class, essentially you are 3 years already in the academy, and how long did you stay on board? First class Vizcara?
13 months, sir.
13 months.
Yes, sir. I after the pandemic, during the pandemic, sir, and then after that I got quarantine and then board again here in the academy. So basically I have 13 months on board, sir.
How did you handle yung homesickness sa barko? Since specifically 13 months, that includes Christmas, New Year, Valentine's, birthday, anniversaries, monthsaries, so on and so forth. How did you handle that kind of?
The setup in PMMA, sir, is already a good example for us to handle homesickness on board, sir. It is a perfect setting, actually, sir. We are not allowed to go on liberties whenever we like to. So, meron lang po kaming Saturday, Sundays, but now we have pandemic. We never get out, sir. We never have our liberties. We never get ashore. So, it's almost a perfect setting for us to work on board. And then, when I got on board and during the pandemic, hindi po talaga kami nakalabas. It's, parang wala pong pinagbago, okay lang po kasi ganito din naman po dito sa academy. So, basically matagal na po akong nakapag-cope up dun sa homesickness. That's all, sir.
Do you have any advice sa mga gusto maging part ng maritime industry na gusto maging seawoman din? Since na, kung paano mag-cope up or such?
For all the women who aspire to go in the maritime industry, who want to be part of the women who wants to lead in the maritime sector, my advice as a student, take risk lang po tayo. Kumbaga, kung ano po yung hindi natin alam is learn to adjust in the workplace on board, maging resilient, and just obey. Marami po talaga tayong matututunan sa mga officers natin. Learn to respect, sir. And, of course, sir, the initiative, sir, to study, to work, and act accordingly, to have socialized to other people on board, sir. And that's all, sir.
Oh, it seems like you really enjoy what you are doing right now. Tama ba, First Class Biscara?
Yes, sir. And I really did enjoy working on board, sir. I don't know why, but my experience on board, sir, it's great. It's great to have work on board, sir, because I take up my place, and I know as a student I am there to be a cadet, to study. So that's all I focus. Other things didn't matter to me on board, sir.
Well, anyways, let's move forward. Let's proceed naman kay Miss Aiza Bernales. Are you there already, Miss Aiza? Miss Aiza?
Hello, sir.
All right, you're back. Question lang, Miss Aiza. So far, sa maritime course na kinuha mo, what do you love most about your course, and what has been your biggest learning?
I think the most interesting part of my course is the leadership and unity na nabubuo while we are on school and while we, while we are on a pandemic. Tapos po sa subject, the celestial navigation, because simply it talks about celestial bodies, the computations, tapos po na very useful when we are on board.
Okay, that's
Thank you.
awesome. Wow. All right, maraming salamat, Miss Crystal. Anyways, let's go back sa initial questions ko kanina sa'yo. So far, since na you took up the course of maritime, I think since you have mentioned celestial navigation, I assume that you're on the deck department. So far, ano yung naging challenges na experience mo since na kinuha mo yung course ng BSMT or Bachelor of Science in Marine Transportation?
As an aspiring navigator and officer, I feel that discrimination po, kasi po mas marami po yung bilang ng mga lalaki kaysa sa mga babae na magti-take ng course. So, syempre po, nasa mindset po ng iba na babae ka lang po, na hindi mo po kaya makisabay. Pero dapat po lakasan mo po yung loob mo kasi po, ito po yung pangarap po. Thank you po.
Wow! Ang galing sumagot ni Miss Vizcara. And let's proceed naman kay Miss Gift Ramos. Since considering that yung mga bisita natin as of this moment is si First Miss Vizcara, si Miss Aiza Bernales, and si Miss Gift Ramos. Miss Gift Ramos, this question is for you. Tawag dito, since ikaw yung nakagraduate na and you have experience both with respect sa land-based job and sea-based job, as a seafarer and as a maritime educator, ano yung pwede mong i-advise? What advice can you give to the females thinking about taking up maritime studies, or basically to those who want to join the maritime industry? Ms. Gif Ramos.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Siguro yung okay, thank you. So ang advice ko lang, advice na may bibigay ko siguro, if papasok ka sa isang maritime, siguro you just need to be brave enough kasi lahat ng challenges siguro is may encounter mo. And discrimination, ano ba? Siguro yung mga masasakit na salita siguro is matatanggap mo. And lahat yon is i-embrace mo lang kasi at the end of the road, makakamit po rin yung gusto mo. Makukuha mo din yung gusto mo. So, yun lang. Kumbaga, strive hard ka lang pag nasa maritime ka. Yun lang po.
Alright, thank you, Ms. Gif Ramos. Essentially, ito na, so the second to the last question. I think I would like to ask Miss Aiza Bernales once again. How have you adapted to blended or distance learning? Since nasa USAD ka, tama ba? You're studying at the University of St. Anthony, and so far, pinagbabawal pa yung face-to-face education na pumunta ka sa school. And currently, you are taking up the course of Bachelor of Science in Marine Transportation. So, paano ka nag-adapt sa blended or distance learning, Miss Aiza?
At first, it's difficult for us, not just for all students, but also for the teachers as well, and for the parents, because of this pandemic. As for me, I have adapted to this distance learning by being focused in what I am doing
All
and
right.
finish the task and planning and maximizing, especially if I am working on multiple subjects. Then dapat focus po, tapos kasi focus para mas maging motivated ka sa career mo po.
Wow, ang cute.
Thank you.
Masyadong cute si Miss Aiza habang sumasagot. So maraming salamat. It's job well done sa focus and sa multitasking na ginagawa mo. Ikaw naman, First Class Biscara, how do you handle basically the blended or distance learning?
Um, of course, sir, we're not, di kami masyadong familiar for the distance learning at first, sir. Pero LMS was introduced, sir, in the academy through the Seaversity also, sir. So we've got a chance to explore distance learning. It was provided with quizzes, with assignments, with projects. So
So far, kamusta naman?
um, it's okay, sir. We pass our we pass our assignments, quizzes online, sir, through the LMS. Uh, and so far, sir, it's okay naman siya, sir. Okay naman, sir. The instructors also monitors us, sir, every now and then. There are attendance. And like in a classroom setting also, sir. It's just that we cannot see the instructor physically, but the way she or monitors us is likewise in a classroom setting.
Wow, masyado akong magaling Miss Biscara para sa LMS, I think. Anyways, by the way pala, Miss Aiza Bernales and Miss Biscara, si Miss Gift Ramos is the one that is handling your LMS as of this moment. Siya yung nag-handle ng LMS ninyo. So if you have any question kay Miss Gift Ramos, PM nyo na sa messenger, siya yung may kasalanan but mahirap actually. Anyways, Miss Gift Ramos, actually ladies and gentlemen, sa ating mga viewers, si Miss Gift Ramos is actually taking up masters in Maritime Education and Training and in Philippine Merchant Marine Academy as well, and she is taking up and taking care of several projects na LMS related or blended learning related for Seaversity in behalf of Seaversity in several schools. And this brings the questions, Miss Gift Ramos, how is kumusta naman yung pag-handle ng several LMS projects, and ano masasabi mo sa blended or distance learning? Is it effective?
Well, doon tayo sa pag-handle muna ng LMS. So, siguro sa pag-handle ng LMS is very okay naman po siya. Na-assist naman namin yung mga instructors, and then if may mga problema is agad-agad naman namin nasosolusyonan. So, well, ang LMS kasi is very convenient siya, especially ngayon kasi pandemic. So, hindi mo na kailangang pumunta ng school or gumastos ng pamasahe mo kasi nasa bahay ka na, natututo ka pa.
Alright, anyways, marami sa before we end this interview sa inyong tatlo, I have seen two comments na pick my interest, natawa ako kanina habang nagsasalita si Ms. Biscara. Technical team, can you flash the questions ni Mr. Michael Batuhan? Magaling po magmahala mga seafarers. Actually, that's two questions. The second one is how does a seafarers handles relationship, especially long distance one? Tapos ang isa naman is magaling po ba magmahal yung mga seafarers? Sino gustong sumagot, ladies? Sino unang sumauna? Kayo na pumili. Wala? Sige, sige na. I volunteer First Class Biscara. Sige, doon is pinakabata. Miss Aiza? Aiza, may gusto mong sumagot or pass ka?
Pwede, sir.
Sige, Miss Aiza, please sagot, please. Wholesome na sagot lang tayo, ha? Sige, Miss
Sir,
Aiza.
ano pong paulit ng question, sir?
Um, magaling po ba magmahal ang mga seafarers? Sige
Yes
po,
po.
ma'am. Baka-explain po, ma'am. How do you handle long distance relationship po, basically?
Kasi po yung relationship po, depende po yan sa dalawang tao na involved po dun sa relationship. Tapos po, depende po yan sa pag-handle niyo po.
Alright, maraming salamat, Miss Aiza. Let's go to Miss Vizcara. First as Vizcara. Si First as Vizcara is a tough lady sa mga sinasagot niya kanina. So how do you handle long distance relationship? Masarap, magaling po magmahal ang mga seafarers.
Siyempre po naman. And for long distance relationship naman po, the distance doesn't mean anything naman po for sa mga nagmamahalan po talaga. And for the persons naman involved po, as long as they are loyal, there's nothing to worry about distance. It's just miles, it's just oceans between, but still, if you love the person, nothing change naman po for the feelings.
Alright.
Sir.
Alright, First as Vizcara, maraming salamat. So First as Vizcara is basically a tough lady and mapagmahal na tao. So nagagawa pa po niya
Thank you, sir.
pagbalanse yung professional and personal buhay niya. Let's proceed naman kay Miss Gift Ramos. Miss Gift Ramos, how does a seafarer handle a relationship, especially long distance one? Essentially, magaling po magmahal ang mga seafarers. Miss Gift Ramos?
Sabi nga nila, distance is just a number. So, I could say na, magaling magmahal ang seafarers. So, wala akong comment pagdating sa wala akong comment pagdating dyan. Pass muna, pass. Pwede po ba yun?
Alright, sige, maraming salamat. I think that ends our interview with the students, ladies. Maraming salamat sa inyo. I think let's now technical tip, andyan pa ba yung ating mga prof? Pwede natin isahan na sila sa ating discussion. There are several questions na gustong i-address ng ating mga viewers. Hi ma'am pareha. Magandang araw po. Ay, magandang gabi. Yeah, gabi na nga po. Ma'am, nakamute ka po, ma'am. Hello, ma'am?
Sorry, sir, nakamute.
Alright, ma'am, I would like to ask the same question sa inyo po na tinanong ko kanina lang sa ating mga lady students. Ma'am, magaling po magmahal yung mga educators sa maritime industry.
Educators, kung magaling magmahal ang mga educators, I think, sir, the word educator is an extraneous variable. This is something that's beyond our control. So I agree with Miss Vizcara. It's not about the distance, but it's really about, if we talk about love does not, distance is not a hindrance. Because my husband is not a seafarer, but a military man, and at the same time, after becoming a military man, he went abroad he works in abroad. He worked in abroad for 18 years with 2 months vacation. Parang seafarer din, di ba? Pero the love lasted until now. We love each other. We've been married for 42 years. It's because we trust each other. Yun eh. Andun yung trust and respect. Maaaring yung love nababawasan, but the respect is always there. So palagay ko ang seafarers ay ganun din magmahal.
Yes, maraming salamat po sa perspective ninyo. It contributed a lot. Anyways, ma'am, let's proceed na po sa mismong questions na po natin. Ano po ba yung perspective as of this moment na ano po yung perspective ninyo sa mga women seafarers natin on the 21st century?
They are brave. Yun talaga, brave in different aspects of their life. First, with regard to their family. Kung may asawa na siya, I admire the person if she can handle her family while she's still on board by by means of communicating with her family, and then also by taking care of herself while she is on board, because we know harassment is very high when a woman is already on board. So uh, yun yung masasabi ko, sir.
Okay,
Kasi it's hard to talk if you are not in the scenario. It's only more of observation. Yeah.
well, ma'am, you're handling students na mapasok po sa maritime industry, so I think you have a proper foothold then to comment on that one, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
Ayun po, ma'am.
Yes.
So, let's go back. Let's go to First Class Biscara. How about you, First Class Biscara? How do you see women in seafaring sa 21st century?
Um, Resilient, sir, like what Ma'am Teresita said a while ago. They can easily cope up, sir. That's why the IMO also produces, sir, the theme, empowering women,
I
because
agree.
they believe that women can lead also in the maritime industry, sir, the seafaring careers, also in the land base or shore base, because women also have ideas, sir, that lead to a betterment of the community.
All right. Thank you, First Class Biscara. Let's go to Miss Gift Ramos naman. It's not the same question pero somehow related. The question is, what other work opportunities are available for women in maritime profession? O yung mga nagbabarko dati, gusto mga ng ibang profession, ano po yung ibang work opportunities na available? Miss Gift Ramos.
Hello. So, for me, pwede silang ano, for example, if yung mga babae ayun na mag-go on board, pwede silang mag-apply as instructor sa mga schools, or pwede silang maging um, content developer for para din makatulong sa education and training sa maritime.
All right, marami. I would like to answer to or to comment on that one, to that question as well kasi maliban sa pagbabarko, we seafarers also have other skills and talents. We can also utilize that one. Some of our colleagues is taking up financial advisory. Iba is nagbi-business ng sarili nila. Yung iba is nagbebenta ng bike, iba is taking up arts, iba is naglolo. There's a lot of things that we can do about this one. Para sa iba naman, we can also take up masterals and PhDs. Hindi part of a bigger organization or magtayo ng sarili-sariling organization. Para sa mga gustong sumali sa education industry ng maritime, we can be course developers, we can be teachers, we can be QMS developers as well. Para sa iba naman, we can take up shipping. Pwede tayo umpo sa mga shipping companies. We just need to have enough sea service experience, trainings, and take up schooling. Other than that, we can still provide our service para sa maritime industry with respect sa Filipino maritime industry. So ayun po. Let's go to let's go sa next question natin. This one is for Miss Aiza, Bernales from USANT. The question is, I mean, this is for everyone po pala. What is the current? All right. Ma'am, kay Ma'am Trisita, Ma'am Pareha, what is the current trend in terms of employment po natin ngayon? Do you have any idea po, ma'am?
In terms of employment with regard to women,
Maritime, yes po. Not
maritime.
necessarily maritime women or sa maritime industry, pati po sa ating sa workplace po ninyo or whatsoever po.
The employment is still positive because shipping industry will never be eradicated in the world. So sometimes we exaggerate information, thinking that employment in maritime is decreasing, but it's not. It will never die. Employment will never die. So there is a need for us to continuously um, advertise the importance of the importance of maritime education, because we need to produce more graduates.
Alright, ma'am.
That's
Sige
it,
po,
sir.
last question ko po para kay Ma'am Pareha. Sa tingin niyo po, ma'am, ano po yung pinaka-role ng women in the nation building and development po? This one is a
The
very big,
way
and
Okay, sir.
it's a very broad one.
You know what? The women will change the world.
Paka-explain nga. I like that statement very much.
Yeah,
How
the
is
women will change the world. We need feminism or feminist energy for the world to be changed. Remember, woman is always in action.
Alright, ma'am. Maraming salamat. How about you, First Class Vizcara? Do you have anything to say to that one? The roles of women in nation building and development. According to
Um, uh, of course, sir, the technology on board sets us a different environment. Not only heavy workloads na lagi naman pong ginagawa ng mga lalaki, but also women can do both. So, and that's what I believe, sir, during my onboard training. If you really have the courage to do so, all things will follow.
Alright, maraming salamat. How about you, Miss Gift Ramos?
Um, I can say women can rule. Siguro, pagdating siguro sa appearance ng lalaki, well, lalaki is different pa rin yung strength ng lalaki sa babae. Kaya nga may discrimination. But still, kung anong nagagawa ng guys or ng men, kaya din naman gawin ng babae. So, that's
Alright,
all,
that's
sir.
a good statement. How about you, Miss dito? Um, Miss Aiza? Ano sa tingin mo on the question about sa nation building and development? Gaano ka importante yung role ng mga babae? On simpler terms, ikaw unlad ng bayan. Gaano ka importante yung roles ng mga babae? Miss Aiza? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes, there you go.
Sabi nga po nila na kung kaya po ng lalaki, why not po na bakit po hindi kaya ng babae? Nag-take ka po ng course na ito kasi po dapat makisabay ka po. Tapos yung opportunity po dapat grab mo lang tapos go ka lang po. Tapos dapat po malakas yung loob mo. Thank you
Alright.
po.
Thank you, Miss Aiza. Maraming salamat. Ang cute talaga ni Miss Aiza. Anyways, let's go sa may nag-comment po from Miss Nika Damian. I think everyone knows the organization na sumusuporta, pero the question is there any organization that offers support and mentorship for women in maritime, especially in the Philippines? Sino po gustong sumagot? Ma'am Teresita, do you have any answer on this one?
What do you mean by mentorship?
I think part of this one is those na yung mga programs na ginagawa nila during Women's Month, or yung mga kasi I have attended also several
Kasi
programs. Yes po. Yes po,
Kasi
ma'am.
different schools, they have different what we call this mentorship.
Sa inyo po, ma'am, sa MMA po.
Like in MMMA, as I mentioned a while ago, we have this leadership program. And the idea of that leadership program is mentoring and coaching. It's mentoring and coaching.
So ano po basically tinuturo doon, ma'am?
Come again? Anong tinuturo?
Yes po, ma'am.
What the academy does is if for example, no, because one of the values that MMMA would like to inculcate among our students is the value of discipline. So because on board, discipline is very important, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. So that value of the value of discipline, if a student, for example, commits a mistake like cheating, so the
Mm-hmm.
student is not really sent home or dismissed from the academy right away. The student will undergo a mentoring and coaching program. So we always give the student a chance. And then this leadership program is properly monitored by the formation officers. They are also graded. They are given activities, so the students, because of course it's really difficult. We know that leadership is something abstract, right? We cannot just see it, no, being developed in the students. It takes a process. So this leadership program, the aims is you mentor, you coach the students on the do's and don'ts, and then at the same time there is the stage 4 observation, whether
All
there
right,
is a
tama po.
change and a
Tama.
follow-up.
Is that all, ma'am?
I hope I answered the question of Nika.
Actually, you answered it very concise po na po ng sagot ninyo. Pero po, direct to the point, I love it actually. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you,
Ngayon po,
thank you.
let's proceed naman. I think Miss Gif Ramos and Miss Vizcara also had this training and support sa mga school nila. Kaya proceed na tayo sa next question from Miss Althea Tamayo. How are women protected both at sea and on land in the practice of their profession? This question I think is fit for Miss Gif Ramos since she is practicing her profession both on land and at sea. So Miss Gif Ramos, would you like to answer this one?
Um, Paki-ulit ng tanong, sir.
So the question is, how are women protected both at sea and on land in the practice of their profession? O paano ko
Okay,
daw
so
protektahan? Okay? Sige.
okay. So, well, there's no specific grievance procedure for sexual harassment or gender discrimination, especially for women. So, as for my opinion, women should professionally they should act professionally or should be responsible for their act, especially pag nasa barko sila. Yun lang po.
Alright, maraming salamat. Sige, let's naman. Is there any more questions, technical team, from our comment section that we can ask our guest for tonight? Okay, sige. This question I think is proper for Miss Aiza. Miss Aiza, from Mr. Michael Angelo Tombok. What makes you strong despite of the pandemic? Paano mo nagawang mag-aral pa rin kahit may pandemic? Saan ka humuhugot? Parang Nescafe. Para saan ka bumabangon, essentially? Miss Aiza?
Para sa pangarap.
Perfect.
Joke lang.
Explain this one.
Syempre po, para po sa sarili mo, para po sa pamilya, tapos po sa pangarap mo po. Kahit na
Anything
po,
else?
pandemic ngayon or what we called new system of learning, dapat kung ano po yung ginagawa niyo sa school, ma-adapt niyo po sa bahay niyo. Kung gusto niyo po matuto talaga, dapat gagawa ka po ng paraan. Kasi po, para sa huli po, di ka magsisi. Thank you.
Alright, maraming salamat. And for the last questions na po natin entertain, from Miss Irina Baburina, I think she is at a different country as of this moment. Basta ko comment niya kanina. And I think this question is proper for First Miss Vizcara. First Vizcara, would you like to answer the question? Could you describe your first feelings on board? Is there any? And how can you describe
Yes,
it?
sir.
Alright, please describe it.
Excited, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Excited. Thrilled. I
And
can excited and thrilled because, sir, you got to know different people, or different values, different traditions, and you got to know their culture also. And of course, we only see it in books, we only see it online, and then you got to know it in the real world. You can see the ship, the different workplaces in the ship, the bridge. It's another exciting part of a life of seafarer, and that's are the first feelings I feel on board.
Alright, maraming salamat, Miss Pescara. Anyways, if you don't mind, I would like to share my first feelings nung pasakay ako ng barko actually. That was during 2013. I was mag-18 years old pa lang ako. I was boarding for South Korea. Yeah, South Korea, Incheon. Yun yung flight ko. And I feel excited as well, tulad sa'yo. I was thrilled. Pero I'm confused. Kasi during pagsakay pa lang ng eroplano, sabi sa akin ng kasamahan ko pagsakay ng barko, ma'am, Dr. Pareha, pasensya na ako, kwento ko saglit ha.
Yeah.
Kasi, ito nakakatawang kwento kasi, nung pasakay na ako ng eroplano, sabi sa akin ng kasama ko sa barko, kasi po, kadit pa ako nun, sabi sa akin ng kasama ko sa barko, since first time mo, pagsakay mo ng eroplano, kagatin mo yung handlebar. Tradisyon yan para safe ka makarating. So ayun po, kinagat ko nga po yung handlebar nung sa hawakan ng eroplano. So far safe naman po ako, pero still nakakatawa pa rin. I feel confused. Kung bakit wala kang gawin yun, pero nonetheless, ginawa ko pa rin yun. So ayun po, yun po yung feeling ko nung pasakay ng barko. Anyways, let's wrap this up. It's already 8 p.m. and isa-isahin po natin, is there anything that you would like to say? Unahin po natin yung yung pinaka-bata po sa atin, si Miss Aiza. Is there anything you want to say sa mga viewers natin?
Hello po.
Hi.
Sa mga aspiring maritime student po, advice ko lang po na don't hesitate to take up maritime course because you surely love it. Thank you.
Alright, maraming salamat Miss Aiza Bernales. Pakikumusta lang ako kadiladin sa University of St. Anthony, and Diyos marahay na banggisa mo. And kay First Class Biscara, is there anything else you would like to say before we end this conversation?
Just be brave and keep the faith, sir.
Alright, that was said as well kay Miss Gift kanina. Maraming salamat. How about you, Miss Gift Ramos? Is there anything else you would like to say sa mga estudyante na suportahan mo ngayon?
Tuloy niyo lang kung ano yung gusto niyo. Kasi siguro makaka-experience kayo ng mga yung mahihirap na tawag dito. Kumbaga, makaka-experience kayo ng iba't ibang struggles, but tuloy niyo lang kasi yan yung yan yung magpapasaya sa inyo. Yun lang. Thank you.
All right, and last but not the least, kay Dr. Pareha. Ma'am, ano po yung gusto nyong ibilin or ini-advise para sa amin essentially, not just sa mga viewers, pero para sa amin na rin nakasama nyo sa webinar na to? Is there any advice na pwede nyo ibigay sa amin?
I have a very short advice,
Yes,
because
ma'am?
I really do not want to talk more. No, I always talk less. This is it. Honesty is the best policy. Take note of that, and hard work does it.
That's a very concise, pero I don't know sa iba, pero that's one of the things na sobrang sarap gawin. Tama po ba, ma'am? Working
Yes.
hard and being honest is one of the things na sobrang
Yes.
sarap gawin, na kahit gawin mo siya paulit-ulit, hindi siya nakakasawa talaga.
And the Lord will reward you.
Yes, ma'am, indeed, ma'am.
Yun yun eh. Yeah.
Although syempre po, ma'am, we cannot really tawag dito, di natin kaya pasahin yung lahat ng actions natin, pero being honest in working hard really does pay it off.
Yes. Kasi
Ayan.
sir, yan po yung nakita sa Maritime Academy. Kasi pagka nag-cheat ang isang estudyante, ang tendency ay, because according to the seafarers or the technical instructors, hindi pwede sa barko ang dishonest ka. Yun.
Alright, maraming salamat po. Likewise, maraming salamat sa lahat. I think it is now safe to conclude this webinar. Pero we would like to thank Dr. Bylon, Dr. Pareja, and our guest, Ms. Gift Ramos, Ms. Aiza, First Class Vizcara, for joining us during tonight's webinar. A big thank you to all of you who have actively participated in tonight's session. Likewise, sa mga viewers po natin, comment down below what topics you want us to tackle to our future webinars and events. Likewise, that wraps up our evening. We hope that you've gained a higher appreciation for the world's seafarers. Let us all remember that the respect and equality goes farther than only during Women's Month. And with that said, let's give a big thank you to all women of your lives as we wrap up Women's Month 2021. It was a pleasure to host this webinar and wish you all a pleasant day. Remember to stay at home, keep safe, and practice good hygiene. Until next time po, maraming salamat sa lahat.
Thank you,
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Hi, I'm C, your virtual assistant today.
What if I tell you that Ksim Connect has become a reality? It is the cloud-based ecosystem for maritime education and training, where Kongsberg provides simulation and services to all members. As an instructor, my main goal is to educate and train seafarers to acquire skills promoting safety, sustainability, and efficiency at sea. At Ksim Connect, I can efficiently manage my simulators, my exercises, and my students. In the exercise archive, I can store my library of exercises, and if I want, collaborate and share them with my colleagues or others in the global community. Ksim Connect enables me to give students access to cloud simulation, so they can train anytime and anywhere while learning at their own pace. In addition, I can explore the library of models and exercise areas, download or subscribe those that fit the learning objectives. And I can even order spare parts or a service visit if needed. Kongsberg has started to create the future of maritime education and training by creating the community where instructors can find news, explore and download available simulator models, distribute or share exercises that fit the curriculum. Imagine using Ksim Connect to integrate our simulators in the same virtual exercise environment, enabling students to train and interact together. It doesn't matter whether you're in Singapore, Australia, or in the United States. As long as you're online, you are part of the knowledge-sharing community. Kongsberg is shaping the future of maritime education and training by creating the community. Let's continue building this community together for the benefit of ourselves and the entire maritime training industry. Join Ksim Connect today.